Why is my engine overheating? Your temperature gauge starts climbing. Maybe you see steam slipping out from underneath your hood. Maybe a warning light flashes on the dash. In an instant, a normal drive turns into a stressful situation. Your engine is overheating. Most drivers know overheating is bad, but they don't always know how bad or why it happens. Engines do not overheat by accident. Overheating is always a symptom of a deeper problem inside the cooling or lubrication system. If you understand what overheating really looks like, what causes it, and how to respond, you can protect your engine, avoid breakdowns, and save yourself from major mechanical damage. What engine overheating actually means is that your oil is either not lubricating correctly, um, coolant coolant absorbs and carries the heat away, metal parts expand and contract in a controlled way, sensors read accurately, emissions and performance remain stable. So, that's what's happening when it's supposed to be within that range. Um, when the engine overheat, it means heat is being produced faster than the cooling system can remove it. Coolant is not doing its job effectively. Airflow through the radiator is inadequate. Oil begins to break down. Engine components start to expand beyond safe limits. And some of the most common causes of engine overheating is a low coolant level. Coolant is also called antifreeze. It's the primary fluid responsible for absorbing heat from the engine and moving it to the radiator. And when the coolant is low, there's less fluid available to absorb heat. Air pockets can form in the system. Hot spots develop inside the engine. Temperatures climb quickly, especially under load. Coolant loss can come from radiator leaks, cracked or soft hoses, loose or busted clamps, a leaking water pump, a failing heater core, a damaged or weak radiator cap, internal engine problems like a failing head gasket. And even a small leak is not small in the long run. As coolant gradually drops, overheating becomes inevitable. You can have cooling fan problems. The cooling fan is critical whenever the vehicle is idling, moving slowly, stuck in traffic, operating with the air conditioning on. At low speed, there isn't enough natural airflow through the radiator. The fan's job is to pull the air across it. If the fan fails, the engine may overheat at idle or in traffic, run at normal temperatures on the highway. Common cooling problems include burned out fan motor, failed relay or control module, blown fuse, faulty temperature sensor or fan switch, corroded or damaged wiring and connectors. If you notice overheating only when stopped or moving slowly, the fan and its electrical system are prime suspects. And then, of course, you can have water pump failure. And the signs of the water pump, because the water pump is what's circulating the coolant or antifreeze through the engine and radiator. And without proper circulation, coolant stagnates and heat has nowhere to go. So the coolant dripping near the front of the engine, grinding, whining, or chirping noises from the pump area, wobbling or loose water pump pulley, overheating that gets worse as engine speed or load increases. A failing water pump can appear fine one day and cause a major overheating event the next. It is one of the most common root causes in vehicle with higher mileages. You can have a stuck or faulty thermostat. If it sticks closed, the coolant can't leave the engine and reach the radiator. Temperatures spike rapidly. If it sticks open, the engine may run too cool, which affects efficiency and emissions. But the more urgent danger is a thermostat stuck closed. You can have radiator problems. Radiators fail or weaken due to internal clogging from old coolant, rust, or debris, external blockage from bugs, leaves, dirt, and road grime packed into the fins, corrosion from neglected coolant changes or contaminated fluid, cracks in the plastic intakes or solder joints, leaks along the seams or mounts. And a partially clogged radiator may seem good enough in cool weather, but as ambient temperatures rise and engine loads can no longer keep up, the overheating begins. You can have blocked or restricted coolant passages. You can have a head gasket failure or internal engine problems. You can have air pockets in the cooling system. Air trapped in the cooling system disrupts coolant flow and prevents proper circulation. You can have low or degraded engine oil. Engine oil doesn't just lubricate, it also helps carry heat away from internal parts. And some of the early warning signs before the engine overheats. Most overheating incidents are preceded by warning signs, signals that something is changing before it becomes a crisis. The temperature gauge running slightly higher than usual. Heater that works intermittently or blows cooler than normal. Sweet, syrupy smell around the vehicle. Small puffs of steam from the vehicle bay after the engine is shutting off, after you shut the car off. Coolant residue or spots underneath the front of the vehicle. Cooling fan running more than usual or sounding louder than normal. Warning lights related to engine temperature or cooling systems. Temperatures that climb in traffic but drop back down on highway speeds or vice versa. What to do if your engine starts overheating. Turn off the AC. Turn the heater on full. Safely pull over. Turn off the engine. Do not open the radiator cap while it's hot. I'm going to repeat that one again. Do not open the radiator cap when it's hot. Wait for the engine to cool completely. Arrange for professional inspection. And I mean, literally, some of the damage that overheating can cause is warped cylinder heads, blown head gaskets, cracked engine block or cylinder head, warped or damaged exhaust components, melted plastic parts, oil breakdown, coolant contamination. I mean, that's just to name a few. And then you definitely need to get it into the automotive repair professional. I'm telling you, find a shop that you can trust again and again and again. I'm going to keep that message consistent throughout all of these, because they're going to do a cooling system pressure test. They're going to do a thermostat evaluation, a cooling, a fan and electrical check, a water pump inspection, a radiator condition and flow test, coolant quality and mixture analysis, head gasket and combustion leak test, system bleeding and final checks. You got to have a regular cooling system inspected. They're going to have to check the hoses and the clamps, the radiator and the reservoir, the water pump area, belt and pulleys, radiator cap. You're going to have scheduled coolant exchanges like every 30,000 miles every other year, consistent oil changes. Pay attention to the temperature gauge. Respond to leaks immediately. Pre-trip and seasonal checks. Verify fan condition periodically. When you should get an immediate inspection is the engine has overheated even once. Temperature gauge runs hotter than normal. You see steam and vapor from under the hood. You smell coolant inside or outside the vehicle. You have to add coolant more than once. The heater blows cold when it should be warm. The cooling fan runs constantly or doesn't seem to run at all. The engine overheats at idle, in traffic, or when climbing hills. It is a big deal to take care of your car, and you need to take care of your car. Otherwise, why should your car take care of you? You can't expect to eat candy and a bunch of calories and get super fat without working. And, you're going to have to control what you eat, and you're going to have to work out. Your body, isn't going to respond to neglect. Neither does your car. Why neglect anything? Why not have fun? Why not enjoy your ride? Why not be assured your vehicle is going to start and get you where you're going because you take care of it, just like you should be taking care of yourself? Stay safe, stay strong.